So the first question that comes to us is from The Right Habit, and Becky had a question for me, and it was regarding. Um, I was talking to you about the four demographics. I do ditch your debt while banking bucks. I started in the money sphere, helping people get out of debt, with debt-free living. Then I have the thriving solopreneur. I have the Right Habit, which started off as write a book a year program, and then I have the Mystic Mastermind. So the questions are going to come from those various individuals, and I just wanted to let you know that. But basically, what she was asking is, um, how do you make money when it comes to being an author? And you know what? That's a very valid question, because you ever seen the profit margin on a book? So you buy a book at Amazon and it's $20, $25, and you would think that the writer would get something pretty large or substantial from that. Believe it or not, most of your authors, if they make $1 a book, that's doing good. So I just wanted to let you know that she asked me, so geez, Janine, how do you go about making money as an author? And is going to get a question or an answer that she's not expecting. That's because you need to build out your master contact sheet. Now, this is helpful if you are in business for yourself, you're starting your business, or you're an author and you're wanting to make money with your book. It doesn't matter what product or service you are selling. Just to give you a little background, I have been in business since I was 10 years old. And this month I celebrate my 60th birthday. So I've been in business for over 50 years. And I just wanted to let you know, I've learned a thing or two when it comes to how you go about building a business. Now, I was raised in Japan. People in the West are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're talking about your age. I'm like, I have lived till I'm old enough to have gray hair. I'm proud of that fact. So that's where I'm coming from. Your master contact sheet, it's where you go onto LinkedIn, Facebook, and your phone. And some of you have Google Contacts. That makes it super easy. What you want to do is you want to download every connection that you have on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on your phone. There are beautiful people. Thank goodness for the millennials in our world. I love them so much because they are on YouTube and they're making videos so much better than anything I could ever do. And they're teaching me stuff. And I love when they teach me stuff. And one of them is how to download your friends list from Facebook. They'll teach you that. On LinkedIn, there are several wonderful people that have can teach you how to download your connections. And you're like, but Janine, I'm just getting names. I'm like, yeah, you're just getting names. We're going to talk about what you do with those names in a bit. And then you want to take everybody in your phone that you know and make sure they are in your Google contacts. This is an inexpensive way to run a CRM without having to pay hundreds of dollars a month when you don't have revenue coming in. And one of the things you're going to do is you're going to start calling everybody on that list who you have a phone number for. Start with the people you know first, and you're going to call them and you're going to say, hey, how is it going? It's been a long time. I usually say it's been a hot minute since we talked, because some of these people I haven't talked to in years. And I'll say, I'm writing a new book. Would you like to get on my email list so that you can be a beta reader? And Becky, that's what you want to do. You just want to ask them if they want to be a beta reader. And they're like, well, I don't know. What is your book about? And if they ask you a lot of questions, that's good. That's engagement. You want that. But you tell them what the book about. And if they're like, no, I'm not really interested in that and all that, but good luck with your book. And you're like, thank you. Move on to the next person. What you need to do as an author is you need to build up your list to about 100 to 150 people. And that way, when you launch your first book, you will have people that will buy that book. And then after you do that, we'll talk about how you build out your programs and your workshops after that so that you can actually start making money. But you were telling me in the class that you only have 42 people on your email list. And then there were a couple of students in that class, and I won't name names, where you guys didn't even have an email list yet. You hadn't even built this out. So this is the way you start. Okay, this is what it looks like. Just go on to Google Sheets, Excel. I think Apple has numbers, and just have a name, a phone number, address, where they are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Alignable, whatever you're using, and set up times that you're going to call back. Just get in the habit. And you're like, but Janine, I don't want to sell. I don't want to be in sales. And I look at you and I go, but I thought you said you wanted to make money. And one of those things is you build relationships. Now, you're not selling people. We are so attuned to people calling us with an agenda. You're not doing that. You're asking people, how are they? What's happening in their life, and seeing if you can serve them in some way. And if they say, do you know somebody? Do you have somebody? You're going to be able to say yes, because you're building You're beta readers, you're building your network, you're being a servant leader. And that's what it means. They talk a lot about relationship marketing, and I've heard a lot of people talk about relationship marketing. And I'm like, I have been doing this since I was 10. I thought it was called being a good human, but obviously now the word is relationship marketing. This is the script that you can use in direct messaging. If you don't have somebody's phone number, you can just say, hey, so-and-so, it's been a hot minute since we chatted. How are things in your world? I'm in the middle of writing a book. Would you like to be a beta reader? Let's hop on a phone call. It's been so long since we caught up. And then actually talk to them, like find out what's going on in their world. It's a good thing to do. And so this is messaging you can use for anything. But the whole point is you never sell, not on that first call, not on that second call, not on that third call. By that third call, they're wondering why you're in their world. And then they start getting curious about what is it that you're doing? And believe it or not, that's where I make my money, is on call 3, 4, and 5. So these are some of the notes. I just wanted to show you, this is my spreadsheet, what it looks like. And people are like, oh, do you have a CRM? I'm like, no, I have Google Sheets. I use Google Sheets. That keeps me in touch with the people I want to stay in touch with. Okay. You also asked about your website. How do you build this out? How do you build out your email list? First of all, for all those writers out there, have your domain name. Okay, I don't care what your name is. I want you to have your domain name, because this is going to be your personal website, because so many of us are working full time and we have a side hustle. Use that side hustle. Use your name. People don't care about the company, your company name. They know you. So use your name. And I know that goes against a lot of what we're taught, especially if you were raised in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. It was all about your company name, all that. You want to have your personal website. You want to have your personal name so that you have control of your digital footprint. Because what are the two pieces of property that you own digitally? Your website, your email list. Those are the only things we own. Everybody else, we're on rented property. Okay. There are two challenges on websites for small business, and that is, if you do not do these two things, it's very difficult to make money. Okay. Make it easy for people to schedule an appointment with you. Make it super easy. AKA, I highly recommend Calendly. It's one of my favorite ones. Put that link or put that schedule up on your website. Let people find an easy way to connect with you. Number 2, make it easy for people to pay you. It's very difficult to pay some people. I'd like to have a button where I can go and pay you. So those are the two things. You're wanting to know how to make money. And I know this is very basic. Some of you are like, well, duh. I'm like, yeah, but I want you to go to look at your website, or better yet, have your mom, dad, or grandpa go to your website. Can they figure out how to pay you? And can they figure out how to schedule with you? This is very helpful. So when it comes to your email, a lot of people get really worked up on what should my form look like. These are the basic forms. Just have email, sign up for free money tips. This is on my financial website. Then for my writers, I'm like, hey, I want you to be a beta reader. Here, may I have your first name? Because I do like to be able to give their name in the, like, dear so-and-so, and then their email list, and then just a button that says, yes, I'll review your chapters as you write them. So that's one of the things that you can do for that, Becky. This is one of those. This is from my Thriving Solopreneur website. I have monthly videos that I send out to my readers there. They absolutely love it. And remember your 4 hours a week to nurture your business. Prospecting, right? You want to be prospecting, doing follow-up, connecting, and training yourself. That 4th hour is where I see a lot of entrepreneurs don't take an hour to train themselves on what they need to do. So I highly recommend that you have a spreadsheet like this that you write out every week. What day and time will I do my 4 hours a week? And I actually schedule it in my calendar, but some people like to use paper, so go right ahead. Here is what will help you with what we've talked about. What are you going to implement on your business? Start writing a list. Whatever it is you're learning this week, over this weekend or next week, make sure you have bullet points on what you're actually going to implement, because it's all fine and dandy to sit there and train yourself, but what are you personally going to put into practice for yourself? The next question comes from Gary, and he's part of my Ditch Your Debt While Banking Bucks course. This is based on my book, Ditch Your Debt While Banking Bucks. It's the 60-40 principle. It's how we talk about how money has to flow. You have to aspects of your money that you're living on, you're saving, and you're giving. And it's very difficult to do if you're in debt and you're living on 110% of your income. So what I do is I talk to people about how you go about doing the 60-40 principle on your current income. This is what it looks like. Gary was interested in that 10% philanthropy and the 10% spiritual, because he was like, but I don't belong to a spiritual organization because I see myself as different than that. I'm like, that's fine. You still got to give away 20%, whatever you have coming in. And we talk about this in the module. Um, you still give away 20% of your income. Just pick 2 charities that are doing good work that you are in alignment with, and that will work for that. Also, he wanted me to go over what are the top 5 reasons that people get into debt. And I was very surprised what the top 3 were, because they're not really things you can control. And this is how I focus on people. The first one is medical bills. The second one is you lose a job. The third one, it's not this one. Third one on this slide deck is gambling. I really thought I had the lose a job insurance. Okay. There's supposed to be divorce. Divorce is supposed to be the third one, then gambling, and then credit cards. Okay, so the last 2, credit card debt and gambling, may or may not be yours. You may have been driven into bankruptcy because of a partner that you had combined your finances with. So when you come to my courses for Ditch Your Debt While Banking Bucks, the assumption I make is that you had a situation beyond your control and you are in debt. That's how I handle it. Most of the people who come to me have $15,000 to $18,000 in unsecured debt. They also have car loans, school loans, and they have a mortgage. So that kind of lets you know how awash in debt people are. If you find yourself in that situation, Lynette will put, and Sean will put in the chat, the Ditch Your Debt While Banking Bucks. It's a free book. It's a digital book. Get the book. And then you'll also be signed up for a free course. And so you can just go through the book and the course with total anonymity, if you will. And then nobody will know that you're taking that course. And then as you go through that course, if you have questions, come on to Open Friday Coffee. And that's a way we can help you get out of debt, totally free of charge. You don't have to pay any cash down for that. The next question comes from Sarah. She's part of my Mystic Mastermind. I am a shaman, I am a psychic, and I am clairvoyant. And so one of the things that we talked about in this particular meeting, she was asking about how to integrate some of the lessons that we were talking about. Believe it or not, the downloadable that Lynette's going to put into the chat is helpful. Just asking the question, how can I best integrate what I am learning in this course? How is that going to work with me? You also asked me about the Circle of the Sacred Heart. This is a program that I run for what I call my Master Mystics. We're having that, let's see, we're having the retreat on August 2nd through 4th here in Longmont, Colorado. If you're interested in that, there will be a link in the chat. I wanted to let you know, for the folks that may or may not know, these 4 different demographics that I have and courses that I run are only $37 a month. If you want to be a part of more than one of those, let me know. We can work out a discount. One of the best ones, I think, for my Open Friday Coffee group is How to Grow Your Business, which is basically my Wednesday workshops. The Circle of the Sacred Heart is also affiliated with that, and then the Right Habits. So depending upon what your focus is and what you're trying to do will determine what area you want to come into my world with. Thank you so much for listening to what my students are asking me about.